All right, so today we're going to learn how do we build a card layout, or what they call a card layout in HTML and CSS. So let's jump right in, and I haven't really prepared this very well, and that is on purpose to kind of see some of the pitfalls or things that we'll run into. So let's set up our HTML structure first, and then kind of see how we could get into styling that. So that's what I like to do. We need our skeleton first before we add the flesh, right? So we've got our row. What else? What do we need to do to kind of get our column layout working? Well, we need to put something in one of the columns. So this will be our parent, and then inside of here we'll have our 3 columns. So we'll just start with this, and we'll call this. How do we do this? Call this cards. And here, this will be cards, card. So that's our wrapping div, and this will be one of our columns. And this is our row. What do we need to go in here? Well, typically in most cards you have like an image. So let's do an image. Okay, and then below that we'll usually have text or like a title. So in this, we could do maybe like an H2, or we'll just call this cards title. And we can call this, actually, well, let's see what kind of images we have. I know I had 3 of them here from previously. So we've got this knife, and we've got this sword. Cool, well, looks like we're all armed and ready to go. So, all right, let's come in here and we'll say knife forest, and then this will be our knife forest. Then usually you have like a description, right? What's this card about? Okay. And I don't know, something about knives. Cool. So that's our layout. Let's save that, see what that looks like. Whoa, really big image, title, description. Okay, well, that's all right. We know the image is large. We're going to fix that with our column. So we could do that now. Why don't we start with that? So we've got our cards. Down here, we no longer need this. And I know we haven't really got into kind of our layout. We can do like display flex, display grid. I'll want to cover that more in depth in another video. For this video, we're trying to learn about how we actually kind of create our markup and structure some of the CSS to get that layout. We'll dive deeper later into each of these. So if you don't know this stuff, that's okay. Just kind of follow along. Realize we haven't covered it yet, but we'll get more in depth with it. So in this case, I know that we're going to maybe just have 3. So say 230 pixels will be the minimum, and then 1 FR for the largest, and let's see where that gets us. Open up our inspector. Okay. What if we just do this? Start something simple. Okay, so we can see here, and I'm purposely doing this, right? Because we knew that CSS was valid, but where are we struggling? What's going on? How come this stuff isn't collapsing like we were thinking? So we've got our problem with our images. Now, our images, it's not staying within that column, right? We've got 2 columns here with 200 pixels, but this image is 1900 pixels wide. Why is it not staying within its container? So this kind of goes again back to that whole normalized thing. I've got my own CSS reset, so I automatically know what's happening and where. What we need on all of our images is a max width of 100%. You might be thinking, well, what is that trickery and how did you know how to do that? Well, we want our image, the max width of it, to be 100% of whatever container it's in. Okay, so this is what a responsive image is, and allows you to do. We want that because when I adjust this layout here now, see how that's going to fill the container or its parent, whatever it's in. So it creates a nice fluid layout, and that's what we want. We want our images to be responsive. So when things aren't working, or you thought you knew the right thing and you checked it and it looks like it was right, start going down deeper into each of these elements and figure out what's maybe causing it to not do what you're expecting, and pull things out. So there's that. So let's go up here just temporarily. We'll just set our image to this. A lot of the times in my CSS reset files, I've already gone through the trouble and time to figure this stuff out. So that's kind of like you set it and forget it, right? You don't need to worry about running into this each time. And then that you can kind of use that and carry that with you project to project, and then continually to add to it. We'll get more into that later as well. So good, that was the first challenge. I wasn't necessarily expecting that, although I kind of knew something like that was going to happen. So we can go back to the way we have this other grid, but for now, maybe we can show off how you can do grid maybe a different way. So we've got our card layout. So now that I've kind of got, all right, we've got our image, we've got this, our description. What I like to do when I know this is in place and I've got my appropriate classes on each one of these, and I didn't put one here, so let's do that. Just in case, I don't know if we're going to do something with it or not. Once I've got that in place, all my classes are set, then I duplicate that markup. Now, people say, you don't want to copy and paste, because if you've had an error there, then there's an error in another one. In this case, we're okay. We know it's just going to be this card. When we get into discovering JavaScript and some PHP, we'll go into how we can loop over this markup so we're not writing it again and again each time. Let's see, it's just called night. Okay. We don't need to change all these descriptions, but whatever. So, and then here's our 3 layouts. Okay, so see, we even have some more challenges with our images. So this card layout, we're in the works, right? So we'll do a part 2 on this. How do we actually style it and get it more uniform and make it look good? And then we can pull up some other examples of what does a card layout look like, and kind of maybe review a few of them, and then try to copy what we see, because that's a good part about being a developer, is seeing the design and able to replicate it exactly. So before we go any further, let's take a break, find a layout that we like, and then try to mimic that. Okay, hope you found this useful, and we'll improve it in the next video. Later.